There's no better show on Nickelodeon than SpongeBob SquarePants. I really can't deny it. I've been a huge fan of the show since I was about 4, and I've been really impressed on how long the show has been around. Till this day, along with Phineas and Ferb and many others, it's by far one of my favorite shows to watch, especially the first 3 seasons. Some of the latest seasons of the show, such as 4 and up, haven't really caught my interest. Of course, I'm probably not alone. I've heard similar stories about people disliking the 2005 reboot and onward. I myself, a true fan of seasons 1 and 2, that is. One day in late May of 2018, I ran into my friend Joey at Barnes & Noble. Joey said a heck of a cool guy, and plus he loves SpongeBob as much as I do. Sup, Vinny? Joey said. Nothing much, man. What you up to? I asked. We both gave each other a high five, and Joey told me that he bought a new SpongeBob DVD the prior to he inviting me over to his house on the weekend to watch it. So you up for it? Joey asked. Sure, I said. I'll be free on that Saturday. Jody gave me his number and we settled up for a deal. The day finally came and Joey picked me up from my house. We got to Joey's house in about 25 minutes because we ran into a lot of traffic on the way there. When we got there, Joey welcomed me in and we went into the kitchen, the fridge. He pulled out 2 fresh cold bottles of Barg's root beer. I know it's your favorite, Fred, he said with a smile. Thanks, man, I said, as we both took a sip. Joey also popped some popcorn, and then we went down to sit down to watch the DVD. Joey let me see the DVD case. The cover had a generic type of cover, if you wanted to call it that. The cover had pictures of various characters inside each bubble with a light blue Hawaiian background. SpongeBob, Patrick, Mr. Krabs, Squidward, Sandy, and a few others were present on the title of the DVD. It was Bikini Bottom Bubble Buddies. The episode Bubble Buddy was, a matter of fact, one of the listed episodes. On the back of the case, there were about 10 more episodes, including the bonus one. It said from the bottom right corner, which appeared to be Jellyfish Jelly, new never for TV aired episode. I showed Joey, and he told me that it was the reason why he bought the DVD in the first place. Then we started watching. We watched the first 9 episodes, and most of them were from season 2. Then came up with the bonus one. Here we go, said Joey as his usual hyper voice. Yep, I smiled. The theme song played and the 2 intro was normal. Then it showed the title card. SpongeBob's All-Night House Party. Me and Joey were a bit confused. Was this some reboot of Party Pooper Pants? I asked. Maybe, Joey said. The episode started with the camera diving down to Bikini Bottom, with the bubbles splashing on the screen, and then it goes by with a French narrator that chimes saying, another day in Bikini Bottom. The town of Bikini Bottom appears on screen, and I wonder where our yellow friend is up to today. Ended the French narrator. Then it cuts to a scene showing SpongeBob walking along the side of the road towards Patrick's house. Patrick was seen outside. Hiya, SpongeBob, Patrick said. Hi, Patrick, SpongeBob said. What you doing? Asked Patrick. I'm thinking of throwing another house party tonight, SpongeBob said. Another one? Asked Patrick. Nice. See you then. Patrick waved goodbye. Later, SpongeBob said. SpongeBob then goes home, and Patrick goes under his rock, and the bubble splashing goes on screen again. Once SpongeBob enters the house and the door, the telephone rings, and then he walks up to pick it up. It was Sandy. Hello, SpongeBob SquarePants residents, SpongeBob asked. Howdy, SpongeBob, said Sandy. Hey, Sandy, are you almost done getting the party food yet? He asked. Yes, sirree, said Sandy. The next scene then follows Sandy in the bargain mart with the shopping cart filled with Tostos, Doritos, Orange Fanta, and Mountain Dew. Hey, look, I said, laughing. Joey then laughed at the sight, which was real brand goodies, too. Hey, Sandy, could you maybe grab a few extra bottles of soda? We're going to be having a soda chug contest, said SpongeBob. Sure thing, said Sandy. See ya, she said, and then hung up. Bye, said SpongeBob as he also hung up the phone. Hey, Gary, are the baked coral bits done yet? SpongeBob asked as his pet snail from the living room. Meow, said Gary from the kitchen. Great, SpongeBob said, and then he walked into the kitchen. Gary is seen near the kitchen oven as the timer goes off. SpongeBob grabbed some oven mitts and pulled out a large tray full of blue-baked coral bits. Ah, he said, sniffing the scent of coral bits. They smell delicious, he said with a grin. Then he goes back to the living room and sets a tray on the long surfboard serving table, and then he goes back into the kitchen, and then comes back with a large bowl of pink punch labeled strawberry, and it had a large block carved into the shape of its head. And then it's got another bowl with a purple punch which labeled grape, and this one had an ice block covered in the shape of Gary. Later on, the bubble splashing screen goes by again and then cuts to the show. Sandy exiting Barg and Mark, has a lot of grocery bags, and then gets into the big red bikini bottom bus. The sun also starts to set, and the bus is seen arriving at SpongeBob's house, and Sandy gets off. She then rings the doorbell, and then inside SpongeBob's house. "I'll get it, Gary," said SpongeBob as he opens the door. Hey, Sandy," said SpongeBob. "Howdy, SpongeBob. Where should I set all this stuff?" she asked, holding up the bags. SpongeBob scoots it to next to the surf table. The table's right here," said SpongeBob, pointing at the table. Sandy then starts setting the sodas and chips on the table. "You can put the chips in these bowls," said SpongeBob, pulling out 2 clear plastic bowls. "Thanks," Sandy said. Patrick then arrives at the door. I'm not late, am I, SpongeBob?" Patrick asked worriedly. "Nope, you're just in time," said SpongeBob. Mr. Krabs then arrives at the door carrying 6 large boxes filled with Krabby Patties. "Ahoy, SpongeBob," said Mr. Krabs. "Welcome, Mr. Krabs," greeted SpongeBob. Squidward follows behind them carrying 5 large boxes of pizza. "I hate being a delivery boy," he said with a frown. Me and Joey laughed more, and more guests pulled in, and the party was just starting. The scene then pans around the living room, showing all the guests. SpongeBob's even seen holding a clipboard, checking off the names. 28, 29, and 30. "Everyone's here," he said. "Everyone, welcome to my house party. There's food and plenty of activities for everyone to do. We're going to be having some games like pin the tail on the tea horse, the soda chugging contest, and even much more. So let's party," SpongeBob said. Everyone cheered, and then it cuts to the show where everyone was dancing and having fun. Accidentally bumps the table. A few stacked Krabby Patties fell over. One, still fresh and hot, lands on Squidward's foot. "Ow, ow, ow, ow!" he screamed. Me and Joey started really laughing at this point. "SpongeBob, give me an ice pack, quick," said Squidward. "Coming up," SpongeBob said, running to the kitchen with some ice. Then he sits it down on Squidward's foot. Thanks. Now, can you get some idiots to be more careful? This shouldn't happen again," he said. Sorry, Patrick said, grinning and stepping away. Squidward then went and sat down on the couch for a while after the incident. SpongeBob then cleaned up the mess. "I wonder if there's anything on TV?" SpongeBob asked. SpongeBob gets a remote and turns on the TV. But the only weird thing is that the same thing funny happened instead of the usual TV something news. It was a realistic fish head, and it showed a pet from the song Pet at the Party from Wow Wow Wubbzy. I must say, if you haven't heard the song, listen to it. It's pretty funny. Anyway, I pointed at the screen laughing as Joey did too. "Dance time," said SpongeBob. "What the heck?" I said in the middle of my guffaws. Then the song, everyone played and everyone danced, except for Squidward, who was still on the couch. Then the soda chugging contest came. "Hey everyone, soda chugging contest," SpongeBob said. Patrick went first. "Jug, jug, 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 jug," everyone chanted. Patrick then incredibly finished the whole bottle. The Pet Party song then ended on TV and then faded back to black and then showed SpongeBob and everyone singing Sweet Victory from the episode Band Geeks. "Oh, here we go," I said, starting to giggle. Me and Joey sang along. "Ah, yes, the day I stole Squidward's heart," Squidward said. "Good times." Everyone danced along, including Squidward, whose foot was feeling better. The song then finished up, and now, if you excuse me, I need to use the restroom, Patrick said. He then left to the restroom, followed by some big loud farts. Me and Joey laughed heavily. "Urgh," said Patrick as he flushed the toilet and washed his hands. Me and Joey then continued laughing. Another song started to play in SpongeBob's TV, and this one was a little hard to believe. But this was awesome again. This time it played "We're Ready for Anything" from the Backyardigans' Mission to Mars. Me and Joey once again were weirded out. Started singing songs as characters started dancing again. In case you were wondering, yes, me and Joey have a lot in common when it comes to our favorite shows. The scene then went back and forth, showing the time on the clock and the ticking away, and the guests doing various things. They played Pin the Tail on the seahorse, and then formed up so conga line and then danced, then chatted with each other. The clock then showed 10 p.m. and everyone was looking exhausted. Phew, what a night, said Sandy. Okay, everyone, that's a wrap, said SpongeBob. Thanks, SpongeBob, everyone said, exiting out of the house. Bye, pals, said SpongeBob. Phew, what a party. I'm gonna sleep well tonight. Gonna need to clean up tomorrow. Then he goes upstairs and goes to bed. Good night, Gary, he said. The lights then turn off and the screen goes black. Wow, that was some awesome and weird episode on many levels, said Joey. Certainly was, I agreed. The credits had started to roll. The only thing timed was differently. Instead of having a yellow and white flowery background with pink lettering, it had a pink and yellow flowery background with white lettering. This time, in the background, instead of the music being the usual relaxing Hawaiian tune, it was playing the song Trainee by band Arriva. Me and Joey were shocked at this. Death metal for SpongeBob end credits? I asked, completely confused. Who cares, man? Bang your head and jam out, exclaimed Joey, and we did, for quite a bit too. Afterwards, the DVD went back to the menu. Man, that was sweet, I said, wiping a little bit of sweat from my forehead. Sure was, said Joey. Say, where did you get this from anyway? I asked, holding the DVD case. From that Barnes & Noble we saw at each other, Joey said. There was actually like 4 of them. Really? I asked. No joke, said Joey. How about we stop by there so you can get one too? He asked. Really? I said. That would be great. He did so and he took me back home. When we arrived on Barnes & Noble, Joey waited for me to get in the car as I went inside. Just like Joey said, there were 4 copies of the DVD available. I got one for myself and paid at the register and exited out of the store. I got it, I said. Awesome, said Joey. We then got back in the house and said our goodbyes to each other. That same night after dinner, I popped into the DVD and the DVD player, and to be sure, the exact same episode me and Joey were supposed to watch. To my surprise, it was the real branded party food, the songs and DVD, and even the death metal credits. It was all there. Wow, I said. Strongly suggest if you find a copy and then get it yourself. Then again, this thing never existed. So welcome to the land fan fiction, boy. Oi. And that, my little pretties, was SpongeBob's House Party. A SpongeBob Lost episode. I guess I could say it's a troll pasta or a funny pasta because it's kind of more like a troll or funny pasta. So I'm going to be completely honest. So I'm just going to call this a funny pasta or troll pasta because it's more of a funny pasta and troll pasta than a curry pasta. I gotta say. Alright. So the person who sent me the story, I'm not mentioning who it is, asks me just to remain him anonymous. So I'm going to be doing such by leaving this person as anonymous. So yeah, let's go from there. My final thoughts on this story? Well, it was a really good funny pasta or troll pasta, whatever you guys to say. So with that being said, I am going to say this right now that I actually like this story. This was more of a funny / not creepypasta, but funny troll pasta level. And I do have to say, this was actually a really amazing story. It was quite funny. It was funny at certain parts, so I had to do multiple takes because, yeah, it was because how silly it was. And it was just really, really, really amazing. So I could definitely say that this story was actually really well made and detailed. I have to say, to the author, you did a really good job on making this story. So, with that being said, I am going to say this right now that, this story was actually really funny in many ways than I could count. I could definitely say this one was really funny. It's more of a funny / troll pasta level than a curry pasta level. So, yeah, that's why I'm saying, this is more of a funny / troll pasta. That's actually what I find this is more of that than, a curry pasta. Because, this story was actually really funny. I actually found this story to be rather funny and really well made. So, the grammar was mostly good for the most part. Same with the sentence structuring and the paragraph structuring. It was pretty good. So, I could definitely say that there was definitely a lot of great concept when it came to that. I really liked how this story went out. It was silly, it was funny, it was awesome. Definitely gotta say, it was really well made and detailed. I'm definitely being completely honest, this story, I really liked it. It was flat out amazing. So, oh man, this one was actually really well funny and made. I definitely have to say. Now, I could definitely say right now, since the author wants to have him or himself anonymous, I'm just gonna respect that and do that. So, with that being said, to be completely honest with this, I actually found this funny pasta or troll pasta to be rather enjoyable. Now, if I have to say a few things that I wasn't really crazy on, they're not major things, but they're kind of minor things. Now, the DVD cliche, I could definitely excuse that. It did not came from, well, it came from like Barnes and Noble. It did not come from, Goodwill or Walmart or anything like that, because those are kind of cliched when it came to those. But since this is a funny pasta, I'm going to be completely and utterly honest right now. Sorry about the noise in the background. My dog's playing with his toys. So with that being said, I'm just going to say this right here, right now, that I actually found this story to be rather really enjoyable. Now, if I have to say a few things that I wasn't really crazy on, they're not major things, but there are some paragraphs that were too big. Like, there was a few paragraphs that were too big, so I could definitely say that now, that there was a few, there was like a few paragraphs that were a little big, so they were kind of a little bit hard to read, per se. They were kind of hard to read, just, because there was, like, some paragraphs that were a bit big, and it was a little confusing to read, but a little hard to read at times. So what I would suggest is to work on the paragraph structuring. Like, have maybe a few sentences in a paragraph, then sit there and, have it all in, a giant paragraph. Because for that future reference, it would help the people, it would be easier for people to read the story. I'm just saying that just for, future reference, for the author who, if he wants to improve himself. So, with that being said, if I have to say another thing that I wasn't really crazy on, would have to be, well, the grammar and all that is good, but there were a few run-on sentences. Like, I did spotted like a few run-on sentences in the story. There wasn't really many, but I did spot a couple run-on sentences in the story. Like, the reason why I could definitely say it was just, there was parts of the story that was a little bit, difficult for me to read because of the lack of proper punctuation marks. So I would suggest to the author to, fix up the sentence structuring just a little, a bit in certain parts. And that way the story and the flow would, fit out better. And it, not only that, but it would actually help, make it easier to read. Now, the grammar, there were a few grammatical errors, and there was, like, a few spelling errors in the story, too. I noticed that there was a few grammatical errors, a few spelling errors in the story, so that was actually another reason why this story was a bit difficult for me to read. I'm only saying this because I want to help the author get better with the writing. So, another thing I'm going to say right here and right now is this. And I'm going to be completely honest, is this. There's another thing I could definitely say was that there was, like, before you send a story to me, I would suggest, fixing up the grammatical errors, punctuation errors, fix the paragraph structure in a bit, and even the spelling errors as well. I'm suggesting you, just to do that for fun. I'm really glad this didn't go, cliche mess territory like hyper-realistic blood, hyper-realistic gore, and cliches. It wasn't, a cliche madness story, which I'm very glad that it didn't go down that route, because most SpongeBob creepypastas I've seen on Goshio tend to go down that route nowadays. I don't understand why that's the case, but unfortunately, that's just what it is. Okay. I guess I kind of explained, about this story already. I definitely have to say, this story did pretty good. It does need some polishing up, but other than that, the story would be very well done, really well made, and it would be really interesting. So, with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and wrap up the review. I'm going to say this right now, and like I always continue to say, this is simply my own personal opinion, and if you happen to disagree with me, that's fine too. We're all entitled to our own opinions regards to these creepypastas or funny pastas, whatever you guys prefer to call it. and this is simply my own personal thoughts. My final rating of this story would have to be I'm gonna give this one an 8.5 out of 10. I'm giving it an 8.5 out of 10 because there were a few grammatical errors, spelling errors, there were a couple punctuation errors, and there were a few run-on sentences, and the sentence structuring needs to be fixed up. Well, not sentence structuring. Paragraph structure needs to be worked on. So I could definitely say that right now, that, those things just need to be worked up a little bit. So I could definitely say that right now. The story did pretty good, but I could definitely say that right now that the story needs some polishing up. Just a little bit, not too much. So that's why it's getting a 8.5 out of 10. But other than that, I really love this story. That's definitely something, I'm going to be completely honest. So to the author, you did a pretty good job with this story. And that's definitely something I'm going to say, is that you did really good with this story. I'm going to be completely honest. I really love this story. So, with that being said, what did you guys think about this creepypasta, or funny pasta, or troll pasta, whatever you guys prefer to call it? Did you all enjoy it? Did you not? Also, will be a good person to help make this story a lot better? Leave me know what your thoughts are down in the comment section down below. I'm the Queen of Lions. Thank you so much for watching today's episode. And if you happen to be brand new here on this channel, be sure to like, comment, subscribe, because I make brand new videos every single day. And don't forget to ring the notification bell to my upload, so then you guys will not miss an upload. And as always, please roll the outro, because I'm out of here. And I will be seeing you guys in the next video. Peace out, and I'll be catching you all in the next video. And as always, please roll the outro, because I'm